continuing here. So, yeah, you calculate your essential human needs, basic human needs first, in that market basket of goods. That is the calculation for the consumer price index. So it's not a mystery to the Federal Labor Department. They could easily have kept this country intact, and they could have prevented this wealth imbalance from growing and expanding through universal prosperity. It's all capitalism, supply and demand. There hasn't been any real capitalism since JFK was murdered. He was a real capitalist, and he knew. He could see the writing on the wall. That's why he was getting rid of the Federal Reserve. Already started circulating. Look in your history books. Already circulating a new currency called the silver note, silver certificates. It was a new dollar, is what it was. Okay, that's it. Dollar. A dollar is a generic term. Okay, so that's what they were. They were new dollars that JFK was issuing. And you wonder who hated him the most? That's wanton, vast, satanic power. Okay, involved in the money printing privilege. Okay, and these people, I mean, yeah, you see why they rule over us? They're willing to murder the head of the state of the most powerful nation on the planet. That's not foreboding. I mean, that is freaking gnarly. Those people are freaking gnarly, man. How do you defend against sneaky, cunning, diabolical, sinister freaks, man? I mean, I'm not condemning them. I'm just, calling a spade a spade. You'll know them by their fruits, man. Their fruits are rotten and they stink to high heavens. That's who's in charge. How do you like that? And the Labor Department, the Federal Labor Department, yes, they deserve every bit of excoriation I can lay on that department. They should come out right and repent or perish, man, is what I tell all these people. If you're a coward, you don't belong in the Congress or Senate. If you're a coward, you don't belong in any of the agencies of the government that are supposed to be on the tax dime. None of you people. You're obedient to the priest class. The Federal Labor Department let this happen, this balkanization in America, this division. Simple mathematical calculation. What I'm saying is nuts and bolts. It's irrefutable stuff. It's not conjecture. It's not opinion. It's not philosophy. Oh, no. Oh, no. Gradually, your money is supposed to just continually, steadily go up in worth. And anybody with half, a quarter, a tenth of a brain can figure out where that leads. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Gradually, it leads to universal prosperity. JFK knew it. Plenty of men. I sure as hell know it. You can know it, too, if you don't already know it. Freedom. Freedom, the most cherished element in overall happiness and contentment. You must feel free. Absolutely, utterly, unconditionally, unfettered, free. It's a total word. It's a complete word. No ifs, ands, or buts. No equivocation. You're free. Free is free. We're not free. We're not free. And that's not a good thing. And the Federal Labor Department's been involved in this scam. They're supposed to be protecting the minimum wage workers. Why did we come up with a minimum wage? Remember, I already went into that earlier. Okay, that's the reason. That's the rhyme and reason. That's the logic. That's the justification. That is the basis for coming up with a federal minimum wage mandate, a law to protect the docile, passive workers, okay, who will get run over, okay? They'll get run roughshod over by the evil men that would exploit and take advantage of the docile, passive workers by paying them peanuts, slave labor wages. Worse, because a slave, if you actually owned a slave, it was like any other possession you had. You had to take care of it. You want it to perform, you want your automobile to perform, you better change your damn oil. You want it to last, you better take care of it. Maintain it. You know how many guys out there living homeless would kiss the ground you walked on if you adopted them? I'd call them a slave. You say, well, will you be my servant? A euphemism. But remember, it's a hell of a lot better than being out there. Nobody appreciates them. Nobody wants them. Nobody needs them. They're just riffraff, to die out in the cold, suffer needlessly, while we've got extra housing coming out our ears? A lack of housing is not why we have homelessness in America. I've done my own research. It's disgusting. We should all be ashamed of ourselves. $14 years ago, I did my own research. I had my 4-year California real estate license. I say 4-year as opposed to the 2-year because you don't need as many courses to get the 2-year license. But I learned them. I got my degree. And I did my own research. Back in 2006 with the homelessness, I was disgusted by over 14 years ago. As far as I realized what was going on, how the scam worked, they need people to suffer needlessly and die out in the cold in order to extract these exorbitant rents and mortgages they're doing. They need to be able to, in the back of your mind, nobody's saying these things, but they need inference. It's just, look over here, subliminally, semi-consciously, subconsciously, it's happening. You know. There's people dying because they're poor. They didn't make the grade. They didn't cut the mustard. They couldn't crack the nut. They couldn't reach the bar. They're weak links in the chain of humanity. And I don't want to be like them. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll work 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. I'll beg, borrow, and steal. But I'm not going to be homeless. Because once you're at the bottom, man, there's no coming back. Those people die out there. And not criminals either. But we condemn them nonetheless. They've got moral failings. They're drug addicts. They're drunks. They're lazy. They were born on the wrong side of the tracks. However we rationalize in our sick and twisted minds, not criminals. If they were criminals, they'd be safely ensconced behind bars, costing you and I, the taxpayers, over $100,000 a year per inmate per year. And then on release, they get all this. They get babied. Oh, we got to mollycoddle these people and make sure they got housing. And you think we're not in trouble? You think so? God help us if we fix the problem of desperate poverty and crime dried up overnight, with all the people's jobs that depend on crime continuing. I mean, I'm not trying to be unnecessarily cynical. I'm just making a very valid point. We're sick. We're a sick species, and we're in a lot of trouble. We've made God have to witness a lot of crap, and he's putting his foot down soon. We better start listening. He's trying to get our attention. California's burning. We're dying here, my friends. It's smoke. I just took a walk out. It's horrible. It's horrible. Yesterday I was at work at 7:30. Usually it's bright. The sun's coming up. It's nice and bright and clear. Yes, it was dark, but I could hardly see what the hell I was doing at work. California is burning. We're dying here. Between coronavirus and the fires, it's just the amazing grace of God that's sustaining this people. You people that don't even know they're recipients. They're sponging off God's amazing grace. Every day of the week, they don't give him glory. That's what it is. The glue that holds the fabric of society together is the righteous, decent people out there that'll put down. They've got bigger problems than you by far, but they put them in the background and they take care of you. They come to you. What can I do to comfort and encourage you, to strengthen you? That's how the righteous are, because they're tapped into that amazing grace of God, that great, vast, wanton power, who just wants friends. His yoke is easy, his load is light. God is the path of least resistance. We should all accept that. But I'm just saying, it's outrageous. But about my research about the housing, back in 2006, you could have housed every homeless man, woman, and child in America and had over 90% of the vacant, available housing left over. That's housing that I calculated, I researched, that was either for rent in America or for sale. State by state, I went and I did this. And I did not even include the hotels and motels. So the reason we have homelessness in America has nothing to do with a lack of housing, lack of affordable housing, definitely. I mean, we say it's a supply and demand capitalist society, and yet there's this huge demand for affordable housing. What's being done to meet that need? Nothing. They can't have that. That's the last thing in the world the property managers want, affordable housing. for people that were under their thumb and had to rent because they couldn't afford to buy, to suddenly be able to purchase a home. That's the worst nightmare if you're a landlord or property manager in this business. Investors same way. They want the property value to stay high. As long as it works to their favor. They'll tell us, oh, it's the value of your house went up, and convince everybody that's such a good thing. They won't say it like this, that the worth of your money just went down. Your burden just went up. Your cost, right? Because that's really what that value translates to. If you look at the reality of it, they're saying it's good to dilute your money. We just go into your wallet and we just, yoink, we just take some and, well, we'll put same number, but it's worth much less. You get how that works, the scam? It's theft. That's why they're doing it. So the incentive, the motivation, it goes back to slavery, thousands of years old. That's how the scam works. And you think they didn't need the Federal Labor Department in on it to have them in their pocket? To be lapdogs for the priest class, the Congress and Senate, and the money printers, the gangster bankster class? Of course they did. They needed to have the Federal Labor Department because the Federal Labor Department could have acted as a check and balance. They just came, they said, here's the basis, we're transparent, it's all math, simple logical stuff. Even a little kid, the basic math skills, can understand the calculation and how we figured out that the minimum wage had to go up. Don't blame the messenger, don't shoot the messenger. Just look at the facts. Let's see, was there a genuine disruption in the supply chain that warranted the cost getting more dear on this item or that item? Temporarily, of course. It's got to be temporary because we got to fix it. Because it's a bad thing when your money goes down in worth. Or if it went the other way. Let's say we had fairness in society. We truly had capitalism, which is fundamentally, it's based on supply and demand. It's just the way it works. Competition, risk, all those factors. Free market. No subsidies from the government. No bailouts. No. No $50 billion a year like Section 8 housing that exacerbates, makes the problem far worse. And goes in the pockets of enriches fat cats. Yeah, so the Labor Department would have said, let's this is where the rubber meets the road. We come out publicly, we say, hey, sorry, but wages got to go up. But let's get to the bottom of it. Let's, follow the money. Let's see, are people manipulating markets? What's going on here? Are they rigging prices? Is there chicanery? Is there shenanigans going on here? Because these different special interest groups have an interest in raising the price of this or that, like real estate companies and landlords and bankers. The more money they can lend out, it's based on a percentage, right? Commissions and all that. So the more they dump on the public, the more money they make. So then they gain an advantage. And then you understand, they create that gulf, that division between the haves and have-nots. Okay, and they want it very clear. They want their security great. I deal in essential human needs, they think to themselves. You need me. You need housing. And you see those people, they won't say it, but you see those people out there suffering needlessly in the cold, dying sometimes. You want to wind up like that? See, that's the bottom line. That's at the end of the day. That's how they extract these exorbitant rents and mortgages. It's sick. We're in a lot of trouble. You just be grateful there's a good God, and he's not a paper tiger, but he's getting our attention. We're dying here in California. What's coming to you around the country? If it's not coronavirus, it's going to be something else. One little disease out of a multitude, probably thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of different diseases we can get. But we're going to cripple the country economically, and it's all coronavirus. The dog didn't eat my homework. No, coronavirus, COVID. Excuse for everything. They're using it as cover. It's a plandemic, like Catherine Austin-Fitz said. Who's to say? They've been chemtrailing forever. We've got these fires burning. They've been spraying this concoction of powdered aluminum, the main ingredient in the incendiary device, thermate, incendiary elements. Okay, that's what they've been spraying the forest with. And we wonder why we have these fires. They should be putting out fires anyhow. That Mother Nature started. Your lightning strikes. Protect structures, I'm all for that. Do you understand the insanity? We are completely overcome with madmen and insanity. Nothing makes sense in this world. Nothing makes sense. The only way you're going to make any sense, have any peace of mind, is turn to God in prayer. God, help me sort this out. Empower me and help me to empower others and win friends for you. Let's unite. Let's come against these people as one unified, unstoppable force for good, for change, for progress. That's all. I don't care how slow it is, but our money is supposed to go up in worth until we're done with it. We don't need money. It's rendered irrelevant because we're all